Hello, good people. We are doing calves, ankles, foot, little mini here. So if you have these, they are toe spacers, and you're a little bit like me where you barely ever wear them. You always forget about them. You're not exactly sure what to do with them. Pull them out now. Also, you can grab a lacrosse ball and something to stand up on. So either a yoga block or a book or a small stool. So because we're going to do calf raises and a weight. So all four of those things and we are ready. If you don't have toe spacers, don't worry about it. Although not a bad thing to have. They are good for restoring healthy feet. They feel good stretching through your toes. Let's start seated. So I have all my equipment out here so you can see it. So I've got my lacrosse ball. It's just in a sock. Got a book that I'm going to use to elevate myself for our calf raises. And right now I'm putting on my toe spacers. So the reason I'm doing this is why not? I have them. Feels good to spread your toes. We smush them into shoes all the time. And for the exercise we're going to do, we need it. Actually, did I say we need a mini band? I thought we needed a mini band. Or if you don't have one, it's totally fine. But let's just get started with nice posture here. Got our legs extended and our feet are just hanging out. Now I want us to go forward and back. So we're just working on what is our range of motion here. That's it. What's our range of motion? Let's see how it feels. All right, now let's get them going in. You can see my big toes are touching. I'm trying to get all my toes to touch. So just getting some movement through the ankle there in that twisting motion, getting big toes to touch. That's it, nothing too exciting. If your big toes don't touch, you're a good person. It's okay, doesn't matter. All right, and then let's just get them moving away from each other. So our little toes are trying to get as far apart from each other. Our legs don't move, right? But little toes are just trying to turn away from each other. That's all. All right. Now let's take those bands. If you have one, just put it on one foot, just around the ball of your foot. And we're going to take 30 seconds here and just push forward and back. So this basically, the idea is when we come back, maybe we'll get a little more range of motion. And as we push forward, we have to do some work, right? So we're getting the work pushing down, and then on the way back, we get a little bit of assisted stretch there. So working on just mobility through this range of motion. Shouldn't be that hard, but breathe. Just getting our feet warmed up here, ankles warmed up, calves warmed up. All right, switching sides. Now, if your foot spacers, if your toe spacers, excuse me, are sort of creeping up and off of your toes, like mine do, they can be clipped or shaved down. So you can look for where there's extra material and sort of shave that down. I have looked at mine many a time, hearing that advice, and don't exactly see where that would be for me. But it's something that you can do. Also, if they're always popping out, maybe a size smaller would be better. You know, I know you don't want to maybe not buy something else, but it might be that they're just not the correct size. All right, got it on both sides there. So now let's see what we're doing. All right, we're going to get up. We are going to do our first set here. So our first set, we're going to have our book or a yoga block or a small step. We are going to do calf raises, and then we're going to do weighted swings. So I want you to have your kettlebell nearby here, so that you are ready to do it. I'll show us what it is when we get there, but let's start first things first with 30 seconds of calf raises. We're going to do them both ways in this class. We're going to have them just one foot always, but we're going to have it with an extended leg. And then we're going to do it the next set through with a bent leg. Now, let's get started with this extended leg. So you're up a little bit. Here we go. So you're come all the way down as much as feels good, and then up. We're doing 30 seconds. So there's two muscles in the calf. There's the gastroc and the soleus. So we are wanting to work both. So that's why we're doing it both in an extended leg and in a bent leg position. We're going to do each side individually so that neither calf gets to bully the other one around and take over. All right, and go to the other side. Right into it. Here we go. So keeping that leg extended, keeping your posture up and coming down. Oops, I wasn't doing that. Coming down all the way to relaxed. which will be maybe a little bit below. That's why we're standing on something. If you don't have something to stand on, it's okay. But this way we get a little more range of motion. Have to come up from under that neutral. Good. If this feels like too easy, if this is something you've already been doing, then this is a good time to grab a weight. All right, for the next round, sorry. Now, I said we need a weight, we do. I've got 25 pounds, you can use something heavier or a little lighter, but I want just 30 seconds on one foot, so go ahead. And what we're gonna do is take this foot and swing it around so we have some challenge. Now, I don't want this foot going beyond our center line. So imagine that's a center line, it's not going past. Because if we do that, then we're starting to collapse and just get bad mechanics. So I want you to have good posture and I want you swinging. How's that big toe feel? I took off my toe spacers because they pop off of me. But if you're still wearing them, this is a great time to have those in because then your feet are in great position for strengthening. All right, and switch sides. So if you're wearing your toe spacers this whole workout, that's great. I took mine out because they pop off. I really need to have socks on top for them to stay on. That is not very comfortable for me. So I am doing this part of the workout without it, just for ease. Otherwise, I have to keep popping them on and off. But this one is a great one to have those toe spacers on. Maybe I'll remember to do it for next time through. All right, let's go back to our calf raise. Keep that extended leg. So first set through, going again. Here we go. Come on down all the way. Let's start. Good. I want you not to get lazy on these where it's just like coming up and down, but I want you to get down to the low range and up to the highest range of motion. So you are really moving all the way through, challenging that muscle by not whipping through the motion, but by keeping the tempo nice and slow and controlled. 5 more seconds and we're going to switch sides. All right, go ahead and switch it up to the other side. Good. So for me on this book, if I stand too far forward, then I can't hang off the back. So making sure you've got your foot placed in a way that you could hang off the back of your stool, yoga block, whatever, so that you can get down a little bit lower. Again, if you don't have that, it's okay. Do what feels right. What is not going to break your face by falling off your yoga block. Please don't do that on my watch. Okay, 5 more seconds. 3, 2, good. All right, back to those weighted swings. So you should definitely be feeling this in your feet. If you're not feeling it, get a heavier weight. You just need to be holding it. So hold on the same side. Let's go for it. Swinging that leg around. If that feels too easy, you can sort of go a little bit faster. If you have a barbell at home, that's a great one to hold, down here because the weight comes out long and it's pretty unsteady. Having this weight here, I can hold this pretty steady. So something that's unstable is great for this one. Just trying to strengthen feet, all the little supporting muscles around our ankle. 3, 2, all right, go to the other side. Hopefully you feel this one. I want you to also make sure it doesn't feel like your arch is smushed down onto the ground. So you might take a peek and see how that's doing. Your arch should be engaged with your big toe pushing down onto the ground. Your arch should be up and engaged, keeping you from falling over on this one. So you can quick check it, but then look back up. We don't want to have that pressure of your neck down. All right, 3, 2, and let's go through it one more time. One more time. Here we go. Go right into it with me. You know what we're doing. All right. So again, if this is feeling like no big deal, calf is not burning, use a weight. You could start with 5, 10, it doesn't matter. If you have a weight vest, that's another way to do this one. You could just do this whole workout with a weight vest on. Should have said that in the beginning. That would have been a good idea. Well, next time you do it, because you're not going to do it just one time, right? You're going to do it a couple times. And 3, 2, switch sides. All right, go for it. Twice a week is totally great for this one. And using any of the ideas from this workout to incorporate, like those seated, how we started, those seated ankle movements. You can do that while you're drinking coffee in the morning and petting your cat or dog or hamster or whatever things in your house you pet that are low to the ground. Okay, I'll stop talking now. Keep this motion nice and slow, all the way up, all the way down. If you're starting to have a hard time getting all the way up, that's okay, because we're done in 3, 2, 1. Okay, final thing, grab that weight again. All right, my calves are feeling that, and we still have more to go. So let's get in this 30-second here. All right, if this is still feels too easy, see what you can do. Make that foot a little crazier, but making sure you're challenging this standing foot. Without the weight, for me, this is not nearly as challenging. If I had 2 weights, that would make this even more challenging. So that's another idea for you. So make sure you're pushing yourself here. I know this doesn't feel like the hardest thing, but strong feet are the best. This will keep you running long and happy. Shoot, who cares about running? What about just standing and walking and doing errands, right? When we get injured and have, plantar issues or sore heels, I mean, just walking around stinks. So let's just make it so our daily life is awesome. Then our running can also be awesome. All right, we've got 5 more seconds. Then, all right, then we've got back here. So we are going to do our bent leg. So with our bent leg, we come down as far as our range of motion will allow us, and then we're coming up and down. This is a smaller muscle. We're going to do 20 seconds each side. So everyone go ahead and load up. So you're down into that really loaded position here. And here we go, up and down. Good. So now this should feel like a different muscle, right? My muscles were getting tired from that last one, but now this feels totally different, which is great, which is what it should feel like. All right, 3, 2, let's go to the other side. All right, so same thing. We're going from extended down into that bent position. Here we go, up and down. Try and get all the way down. It's easy to start unfolding, getting out of that bent knee position. We want to stay in that bent knee, so really focus on that. It might be hard to see with my foot in the way there, but I'm keeping that bent knee. 3, 2, all right, stopping there. All right, in between these, we're just going to get quick mobility. So we're just going to come down, hanging out there. This is the same position that we're working, but we get to just sort of hang out in that, feel that range of motion. If your heel's coming up, then you can stop there, but just hanging out there. All right, we'll foam roll this afterwards for sure. Back into it, everybody. First side, here we go. Whoops, bent knee first, and let's do it. All right, you should definitely be hanging on. I know that some of you like to make these harder without hanging on, but truly, this one is an awkward position, and I want you hanging onto a wall or a chair so you can make the most of the work we're trying to do in our soleus. All right, changing sides. Go for it. Keeping that bent knee bent. Not talking about this back knee. That working leg is bent. All right, can you hear my snap, crackle, pop ankle there? It sounds pretty fun. Doesn't hurt. It's just saying hello, I guess. 3, 2, all right, same thing. And then we'll go into our third one. Just hanging out down here, feeling the mobility through the ankles. We're working those calves. Sometimes when we work a muscle, it makes it tighter. We don't want to do that. So in between, just hanging out in that range of motion, keeping that mobility, relaxing. 5 seconds, and we're going back into our last set. Then the rest of it, stretching and rolling. All right, here we go. So come on down, bent position. Let's do it. All the way up, all the way relaxed. Yeah, we're just doing 20 seconds of each. Again, if these feel super easy or these are something you've been practicing, you can use a weight, absolutely. And other side. This is our last time through. I should have said that first time through, but now you know. All right, everyone is keeping your knee bent and coming all the way relaxed at the end. Good. 5 more seconds. Whoop, I can tell I'm getting tired. 3, 2, 1. All right. We have this book or chair or something, but let's keep it. So what I want us to do is get a big toe stretch. So the big toe stretch, let's see if I can get a little closer here. Now I'm just showing you all the underneath the couch. All right. So the big toe stretch, got my toe on the book, but the rest of my foot is down. So hopefully you can see that where my toe is up and then the rest of my foot is down. So we're going to just stretch that big toe. Now this is helpful with our feet. You can move through this as is comfortable. My lacrosse ball, we're going to definitely use that, but that is going to be next. So we worked our calves and feet. Obviously, those are connected. So we're doing both here. All right, let's get to the other side. So this one, if this feels like, whoa, that is super tight, I could do this forever. Yes, good, we found one. And then I want you to do that forever. You can just get into this hold, into a place that feels good, not to a place that takes your breath away, but somewhere that feels good, and then just hang out. You can absolutely do this while you're standing on the phone or watching TV. You can figure out how to, hook something like this near your standing desk or even sitting, just to get a big toe stretch. That would be awesome. All right. Then our lacrosse ball. If you don't have a lacrosse ball, sorry, but if you do, this is a great one. You could also use a tennis ball. They're a little soft, but what I'm trying to do here is get this tennis ball right behind my the ball of my foot. So you can see my big toe ends here and that ball is there. So now what I'm going to do is raise this up so you can see the rest of my body. Feels kind of like an important part because what we're doing is moving our hips. Now, the hip movement is not because we're doing some kind of hip exercise. So I have this lacrosse ball just under sort of the last 2 toes on the ball of that foot, and then I'm twisting. Now that you've added that twist, can you feel the outside of your foot getting a stretch? You should. So this is helping to glide those tissues, get in some movement there. You can wiggle your toes through whatever you're doing, but this is an exercise in the book from Dr. Jay Dechary. He's in Bend. I think I might have just butchered his last name. Dechary, I think is it. Anyway, so what you're doing is basically modifying the fascia at the bottom of the foot by getting that movement with your hips. He recommends about 90 seconds per side. We're going to get about a minute, and then we're going to switch to the other side. All right. If you don't have a lacrosse ball and you're wondering, what should I be doing? You can absolutely get your thumb into that same spot that I'm showing. So you're just behind your big toe and manually getting in some massage. You can really push through and see if you can just get movement through all the toes and on the outside of the foot, get that moving. So in this position, since we have our foot elevated, it's a little bit of a calf stretch. It shouldn't feel like much. If it feels like a major calf stretch for you, then you have very tight calves and definitely need to work on that. So after this one, we are going to stretch our toes again. Then we're going to foam roll our calves and we will be done. All right. So everyone go ahead, get into a hands and knees position. Our hands and knees position is nice because we can get our toes tucked under and we can hang out here. If this feels like enough, that's great. Otherwise, you can sit back into that position, get a little deeper stretch through all of your toes. You can really push yourself back, get that even deeper. but I want you to get into a position that if someone said, I want you to stay there for 10 minutes, you could do that. So it doesn't, 30 minutes would be like you barely feel anything. 10 minutes, it's, I mean, you'd feel like, well, this is kind of annoying, but it's not painful. So I want you to be in that position. So just getting there, just keeping that stretch on, the long hold stretches that aren't killing us, but that is what helps to make length change. Now, of course, you can't do it once a week. You'd have to do it all the days. But if it's something you have tight feet, or if this feels really great, this is a good one to do before bed. You don't have to do this whole workout, just this one. All right. And then I promise some foam rolling. So everyone grab your foam rollers, get it up. We're going to do 1 minute per calf. Now, if you want to do longer, that's awesome. Go for it. But what I want you to think about is all of the ways that you can move your calf muscle around on this foam roller. So you can stay near the bottom and just go side to side, round and round. I have my other foot on there giving some more pressure. Then I can sort of roll up as I move that side to side. That's just bringing a lot of blood flow to the area. I can just get into a spot and just roll up and down. A little bit feels like how a sports massage would feel. Or I can get that side to side shearing motion, which is helping with that stuck skin, fascia, muscle tissue layers, keeping those from sticking together and impeding our movements. So if you feel like you have a trouble spot, maybe upper calf, then this is a good time to use that, push on that area or around it. You can decide, but getting in some good massage for yourself here is great, something you can do daily. All right, other side. A minute is not enough, right? You can spend a lot more time with this, and I urge you to do that. But I want to keep these short and manageable so you can do them. But you also should feel free to take little pieces of what you liked and do that daily as part of a warm-up, as part of your mobility routine, as part of a pre-bed ritual, or just I do this while I watch bad TV. I just started watching Alone on Netflix, and that's a good one. I am humbled by their skills. I mean, I can do that, but anyway, it's totally trash. But this would be a good time to do your mobility. So hopefully everyone is feeling good. Everyone stand it up. Let's see how it goes. Can you get a little more mobility than you had in the beginning? I don't know. Seated, you can try back to this one. See if it feels like, oh, I've got a little bit more, or maybe it just feels good. Whatever it is, even if it doesn't, I'm glad you were here doing this workout. Doesn't always mean, just because you do mobility, doesn't always mean you get more mobility in that minute, but keep at it. Thanks for being here.